Hello, spectators, and we are in the last My Little reading for My Little Dashie. I suspect some very emotional parts, and hopefully I do not cry like I do in the movie theaters. Wonder if there's going to be a My Little Pony movie. I'm getting off topic. Alright, let us continue, spectators, where we last left off. Princess Celestia came with the 5 little ponies, all the ponies, Applejack, Twilight, etc., etc. They came in, wanted to take her back, blah blah blah. They're in the living room now, and Rainbow Dash and Daddy Munchkin are now coming into the living room to explain everything. Dashie! Pinkie Pie shouted, jumping onto her acclaimed friend. Dashie was quick to shove the pink pony off. Hey, get away from me! She was taken back by the sudden amount of ponies filling her living room. They all looked at her with worried expressions as to why she shoved off her closest friend. Pinkie's cotton mane went straight as she looked in confusion. You don't recognize me, do you? No, or any of you, Dashie continued. It hurt me in so many ways. I knew these were her friends, but so many things have happened differently that she didn't know the truth fully, and neither did they. So I had to explain to them. I started. Dashie, take a seat, please, so I can talk to them. She did just that, in her recliner. The entire time she looked at all the ponies who occupied the couches and center of the rug in front of the fireplace. It was time, but first I had to start with a question. How long ago did you send her here? The question caught them off guard, but Twilight cleared her throat and spoke. About 15 days ago. Why? I was speechless. 15 days ago? Shit. She's been with me for 15 years. That means a day in their world meant a year here. That's probably why it takes forever to make a new episode. Well, I continued, it's been a lot more time than that here. How long? Twilight asked. 15 years. All the ponies besides Celestia had their mouths agape. That don't explain why she doesn't know us. Well, that's the thing. When I found her, she was a filly. Come again? Said Applejack. From my math, I think she was no older than 4 or 5 years old. Now Celestia looked shocked, and now Celestia looked surprised. You mean to tell us that you have been taking care of Rainbow Dash for 15 years since she was a small filly? She asked. I simply nodded and looked over to Dashie, who wore an expressionless look on her face. Well, she is, I started, but I couldn't hold back my tears any longer. I know it's not true, God, I wish it was, but I understand that Dad now makes sense. Celestia cut me off, holding a strained look on her face. She was thinking, trying to piece together in her mind what had possibly happened. I chalked it up to be the magic. Being unstable possibly reverted her in age. For a few moments it was quiet, besides the breathing of 7 ponies and myself. Finally, it was Dashie who broke the silence. So, what happens now? I looked to the princess, trying to read her face. No matter how good I had gotten to read Dashie's face, Princess Celestia had the best poker face I've ever seen. Take that, Lady Gaga. I had no clue what she was thinking or feeling at this moment. Well, it's quite simple. Twilight? Celestia looked to her pupil, who instantly perked up hearing her name. Do you still remember that memory spell from the Discord incident? Twilight simply nodded. as she stood from the couch and hopped to the floor. Hold on. Oh, I was about to sneeze. Okay. I knew what was going on, what Celestia had in mind. And she wanted Twilight to either erase her memories and start from anew, or possibly, I had hoped she was simply wanted to give Dashie her memories from their friendship and time in Ponyville. I wasn't sure what to do. I felt it was right. I knew it was right, and needed to be done. I had been telling myself that for 15 years, as I waited for this moment. But there was something I needed to say before it happened. These ponies are going to take my Dashie away, and I had some words to speak before that could happen. No, please wait, I started. Twilight stopped and looked at the sun goddess. Just give me a moment with her, please. All I ask, since this is the last time we'll see each other. I had given up holding back my tears, and all this point was openly crying. The ponies could tell I was hurting, and Dashie didn't look to be faring too well either. So, figuring it was good to prolong the inevitable, I walked over to the chair Dashie sat in, kneeled down, and met her eye level as I spoke. Dashie, my little Dashie, I love you with all my heart. You have done wonders to open me up from the man I once was. You, I paused for a moment to settle down, have brought me so much joy in my life that I can't possibly ever thank you for. At this point, Dashie too had begun crying. That only made it worse for me. These 15 years we have had together, talking, playing, and flying. All those have been so special to me. I just wanted you to know that I will forever love you. It doesn't matter if we aren't biologically related or of different worlds. I don't care what you may ever think of me, or if you ever even remember me. But right now, you being my little Dashie, I want you, I poked her on the chest, to physically show I was talking to her, to know the fact if there's ever a problem that happens, and you need me, don't hesitate to find a way to get to me, okay? I tried to laugh, and passing the last part off as a joke. It worked, only slightly, as we both continued to cry. I could also hear some sniffling from behind me. I could only picture Pinkie Pie crying so much as she did at the end of the second episode in Season 1. After Luna and Celestia have been reunited. Do I have to go, Daddy? It had been a few years since she had called me Daddy. Most of the time, she simply said Dad or Pops. It felt good, knowing she still cared for me enough to call me Daddy. Much like the first time she had said it to me so many years ago. I simply nodded my head as I stood up. Before I could fully grasp my balance, she jumped into me and hugged me tight. I could feel her tears on the back of my neck as I returned the embrace. As I return the embrace. It's your actual home, Dashie. You don't belong here. You need to go back to where you belong.